My name is Annabelle Ayuba. I'm from Plateau State, Jos, from Basa Local Government. I'm in SS2. I studied at St. Xavier College, Jos. I'm 16 years old.
My name is Ayuba Fuja from Basa Local Government, Plateau State. I'm father to Annabelle Ayuba. Annabelle was born with the deformity. Once she was born, the other leg was short. But due to one of my colleagues at Jampan Hospital advised me that I let her just amputee the leg so that in the future she will use artificial limb.
I face so many challenges, and some of them are I can't run some air, like to sweep, fresh water. And when using my crutches, I find it difficult to go to school because I trek from home to school.
I heard about someone from Defined Health. While from there, they linked me to Stanbic IBTC Bank. From there, they are the one that take care of the responsibility of her education and the special limb.
I joined the Stanbic IBTC Bank program 3 years ago. That was 2020.
We want to thank the Stanbic Bank for the education, helping my family to sponsor Annabelle.
Very happy with this because with these processes, I run some errands. I run all my house chores like sweeping, cooking, fetching water with no stress. I can even go to school, try for a far distance. The advice I want to give to children living with a physical challenge or disability is that there is hope in life. They should never lose hope. Always know that there's ability in disability. I really appreciate the Stanbic IBTC Bank for the new process, which is artificial leg, and for furthering my education and putting a smile on my family.
My name is Covenant Okonsunde. I am in primary 5 and I'm 10 years old.
My name is Mr. Okonsunde. I'm from the Burglary in a part of state. I'm a father of Covenant Okonsunde. Beside me here is my wife, Mrs. Helen Okonsunde. My son had an accident 2018. When we took him to a traditional bone doctor, it took us some months for me to discover that he could not manage the leg well. And before we get to know, took him to a hospital where they said the bone was mismanaged, that he could not walk again, so they need to amputate the leg.
It was not easy for me seeing myself that you normally walk 2 legs, and all of a sudden you couldn't walk again. It was very tough. When I look at it, I feel so emotional.
It was very tough financially. It was very tough for us. We lost a lot of money. Even my job was down because of that, because I could not go out.
After the inflation, I couldn't walk. I couldn't know friends.
One doctor directed me to Evangelos, where I discovered the Stanbic IBTC. They're sponsoring the program, and I didn't pay any money.
I joined this Stanbic program in the year 2021.
I was very happy when I went to the program, and they now made the processes for him, and I saw my son working again. It was so much joy. It was so much joy. I was so happy. It changed my life. It changed the life of my son because it made him going back to school again. People were surprised to see him working. Even up to now, some people don't know that he's using prosthesis.
I can go to church with my family. I can play. I want to encourage other children that do not have this line, that are more to have hope, that Stanbic IBTC will come for them.
The financial situation I was in, for me, I will not be able to send him to school. But Stanbic IBTC, I thank you so much for giving him that chance again to go back to school, and he's doing well in school. So I'm so happy.
Covenant is a very lively child. He's fun with. He doesn't allow that leg be an obstacle. He plays with everybody. Academically, he's really improving. really improving. The improvement is very encouraging. We are also grateful to Stanbic IBTC for funding his education.
I want to say a big thank you to Stanbic IBTC for sponsoring me to school and giving me the meaning.
Thank you, Stanbic IBTC.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on the Fire and Burglary Insurance webinar organized by the Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers team. I'm super excited to be here today. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing. Like I said, okay, my name is Chidima, and I work with the brand and marketing team here in Stanbic IBTC. And today I'm going to be moderating this webinar. Let me know where you're joining us from. Are you a businessman? Are you a businesswoman? How are you doing this morning? So what are you into? So for the purpose of this webinar, my name is going to be Chidima. Yes, that's my name already. And I own Chidima and Sons Enterprise. So address me properly. Address me properly when you have your questions. Yes, so thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you're going to have a fruitful session, and then you will learn a thing or two on how to safeguard your businesses from any fire and burglary incident. You would agree with me that almost every month we're always hearing something on the news about a fire incident and all of that. Now imagine having to put all that money to get all your the money from your business, and then before you know it is gone in a fire incident. Yeah, so today we're going to be discussing how to safeguard your businesses from occurrences like this. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for joining. I can already see some comments here. So I think this is great. Well done, Stanbic IBTC. Thank you so much. Yes, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot, and I encourage you to stick around. Somebody said, hello, Chidima Properties Limited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know how to address me properly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I had money now, I would have given to you. But it's okay, it's okay. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I can see your comment here, and I hope that you would have a fruitful session. Thank you, thank you. So I'm not here alone. I'm here with two amazing colleagues who are going to be dishing out the knowledge. And as they say, take a pen and paper so that you can, jot things down and you take things away. So I encourage you to pay attention because my speakers are going to be educating us more on fire and burglary insurance. All right, without further ado, let me introduce my speakers. I have here with me Ifeanyi Chanai. Ifeanyi is a regional team lead from Lagos here at Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers. Hello, Ifeanyi. How you doing?
Hi, Chidima. Good morning. And
Ifeanyi, you do not address me.
okay, Chidima, Sons Unlimited. I heard that right.
Thank you. That's the end. Somebody already said Chidima Properties Limited, so you're calling me just Chidima.
So that's another arm of the business.
That's another a conglomerate.
So thank you so much, Chidima, and a very warm welcome to our audience. I hope that at the end of this discourse, you will be able to pick one or two things. In short, a lot of things from, of course, ensuring your business rights. I'm looking forward to an exciting session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to an exciting session too. Looking forward to an exciting session too. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Looking forward to an exciting session too. All right, so together with me and Ifeanyi, we also have Benga Williams. Benga is the head technical here at Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers. Hi, Benga. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, Chidima and Sons.
Yes.
It's good to be on this platform. Good morning to everyone on this platform. Thank you for joining, and we hope to share more knowledge on the fire and burglary insurance which we are here to present. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Benga. We're glad to be here. You see, I didn't need to. You already know my name, Chidima and Sons. Great, great, great. Hi, someone says that he's joining from Bonny Island. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you learn a thing or two on fire and burglary insurance. So let's just start. If you have any questions, I advise that you put your questions in the comment section. If you want to take up a fire and burglary insurance, which I'm sure that you will right after this session, so there is a form already in the chat box for you to just fill, and we'll come back to you. But let's just kickstart, and I'll start with you. I'll start with you, Benga. Yeah, there's Anya C and Anya C and Sons Limited from Lagos here. Yes. This is my colleague, Anya C. Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining. So let's just get right into it. Hi, Benga. So even right from when I was in school, people have been saying, "Oh, insurance this, insurance that, insurance that." So it's so possible to just think that you know about insurance, but you realize that you really do not even know. So, what exactly is insurance, Benga, and why should both individuals and businesses bother about it? Why is it even important? Can't I just go ahead and pray every morning and that's it? So, what is insurance, and why should businesses bother about it?
Okay, thank you very much, Chidima, for that question. Yes, insurance is a very unique policy in the sense that what it intends to cover is to bring you back to the financial position where you were prior to an incident occurring to you. We all know that we are in an environment that is unsafe, we're in an environment that we cannot predict, whereby people save their money over the years to ensure they buy the properties they love to live in, or they buy stocks, they buy their warehouses, and at the end of the day, something happens, and within a twinkle of an eye, all goes down due to fire or possibly theft. So, insurance is here to support you in such instances whereby you do not need to put your hands in your pocket to bring out the money you've actually lost. It's there to ensure that you don't go to dip in your hands in your personal funds and to be able to get back to your financial position. So technically, how it works is that it enables people come together to contribute what we call a premium to a particular fund. And out of that collection, those that have actually suffered a loss would actually be indemnified and put in the same place they were prior to the loss. So it helps people not to feel the impact of the unfortunate incident that has occurred and get back on their feet immediately without having any effect financially to their families, to their loved ones, and even to themselves psychologically. So, rounding up on it, insurance is there to ensure that you do not feel the financial impact where things go wrong and you're able to stand back on your feet and get ready to go again. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Benga. As you have said, insurance is to take you back to the position that you were before the incident occurred. And I hope that our audiences have also gotten a more understanding of what insurance is. So I'll come to you. If I so, how can businesses then determine the right insurance cover to subscribe to? How can businesses, so I like for Chidima and Sons Limited and Chidima Properties Limited, how can I determine that this is the right kind of insurance that I need for my business?
Okay. Thank you very much, Lima. So I am actually a big advocate for insurance, and I really subscribe to everything that Benga, my colleague, had mentioned. But in terms of subscribing to the right insurance for yourself as an individual or your business, it's important that you engage the services of a professional. You as a probably an individual, you might think that a certain kind of business or kind of policy is right for you. However, it's something else that someone with a broader view, with a professional view, would actually advise that you take on. So for me, I would, in plain terms, I would say just seek professional guide when taking up insurance. When you want to take up an insurance policy, this will help ensure that when there is a claim, that you'll be reimbursed appropriately and promptly. All of the fine lines or the terms and conditions in little prints that people usually complain about insurance, that will certainly not be there if you seek the help of a professional to guide you properly when taking taking up this policy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. So, key things: seek the help of a professional before taking up an insurance policy. You may think that you want this type of insurance policy, or your business needs this type of insurance policy, but after talking to a professional, that person guides you on the right kind of insurance policy to take up. Thank you very much, Ifeanyi. But I'll still stay with you, Ifeanyi. I like your face. So, to the crux of the matter today, fire and burglary insurance. Why is this even important? So, first off, what exactly is it? Is fire and burglary insurance? Is it two insurance policy in one? And why should businesses even bother about it? I want to know because, like I said, I'm going to take up a couple of insurance policies for Chidinma and Sons. So, just let me know what fire and burglary insurance is. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Chidinma. So there are actually two different policies. We have the fire insurance and of course the burglary insurance. However, for certain kind of businesses, we get to merge them. That's why we just call it fire and burglary insurance. However, for the fire insurance on its own, we can actually broaden it further to say fire and special perils. So what this actually does is that it helps compensate or places an individual or business back to the position they were before the claim occurred. That's in the event of when the actual fire happens. So something that ought not to be on fire, when it's on fire, I call it fire. You understand? So probably your property, your business, your stock in your shop, your items in your house. When there's a fire got to things. Certainly, you can then come for a fire claim. So that obviously will be covered under the fire insurance. We can also get to extend it to impact damage. Sometimes a building property that would have been insured. Maybe a vehicle runs into that building, or we have an animal probably just runs and damages probably the fence or anything around the insured property. That is also covered under insurance. Sometimes we have burst apparatus, tanks, and all of that. It's going to be covered under the fire insurance. I mentioned that cover that can also handle the special perils. This is probably flood, storm, other kind of perils. So these are all covered under the broadening fire and special perils. You can bear me witness that there was time 2 years ago we had some serious flood in the Lekki axis of Lagos, and of course all of those things were compensated for clients that had proper fire and special perils insurance in place. So just to speak to the burglary insurance, so that actually handles when there is a forceful entry into a particular space. So for example, someone has locked up his shop after close of the day sales and gone home. You come back the next morning and find out that your locks have been broken into, say things have been cut away from your shop. Certainly that is a burglary claim. So that is actually covered under the burglary insurance. So like I mentioned, it's actually a broad comprehensive insurance policy, but we need a professional to ensure that you take the right coverage and of course the right limits for your business. Thank you, Chidinma.
Great. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Thank you so much for that broad explanation of what fire and burglary insurance is rather. So I can decide that I want to take up any of that policy right now. And if from Ifeanyi's explanation, you want to take up a fire and burglary insurance, please, there's a form in the chat that you can fill right now. And then one of our contact person will contact you to understand your needs. Like if I also said before, you'll be speaking to a professional who would guide you properly on how to get the right insurance policy for you. So I'll come to you, Benga. What proactive measures can businesses take to prevent the occurrence of a fire or burglary incident? Am I just going to say, oh, because I have a fire and burglary insurance, I'm just going to rest? What proactive measures can businesses take to prevent fire and burglary incidents? Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Chidinma. So there are so many ways we can be proactive to prevent fire from happening to our properties. and also to be burgled in terms of theft to our properties. So one of the major areas we can actually look at is our own risk management process. And what do I mean by that? There are moral hazards relating to how we do our proper housekeeping for our businesses, for our homes. How do we ensure that things are at the right place and at the right place and time where it's supposed to be? For instance, we have instances where fire are caused by people's acts and omissions. We see fire being caused by people fueling their generator while it's on. We see fire starting from the kitchen, or we see where people set fire or cook where it's not supposed to be. So one of the number one thing is for you to ensure that there's proper housekeeping. The house is well kept. The shop premises, the perimeters are well kept and clean. There are no wastes around it that can help the fire to grow. We also have what we call like a immediate reactive means, whereby you have like a fire alarm, you have fire extinguishers in case the fire happens, where you have been proactive and you've done your necessary risk management and proper housekeeping. Those can help you to actually reduce and curtail the amount of damage that could have led to your financial loss. So definitely, fire and special perils is something that we shouldn't toy with. We should always be proactive and ensure that at any point in time we are doing things safely and we are always doing proper housekeeping of our environment. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benga. So it's not just enough to say you have a fire and burglar insurance cover without doing proper housekeeping. So all the things that Benga had mentioned are quite important to, minimizing the volume of loss that you would encounter. So still on you, Benga. So in what ways can, now we've talked about fire and burglar insurance, what exactly it is, why businesses should bother. So, but in what ways can fire and burglar insurance be tailored to meet businesses' needs? I'll give you an instance. For instance, Chidima and Sons Limited is not, like I said, we are a conglomerate. So will I be taking the same type of fire and burglary insurance policy with someone who has a small business? So how can fire and burglary insurance policy be tailored to meet business needs?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Looking at being tailor made, we have various companies with various needs, with various expansions, with various capacity. So there is no one fit all insurance for a particular insured. It depends on your process, it depends on what you have, it depends on the people you have within the premises, it depends on the assets you have, because the assets you have will determine the kind of insurance you have. The process you have in place or the measures you have put in place will determine the kind of insurance you also put in place. I'll give you an example. For Chidima and Sons, for instance, might be to sales of, let's say, motor spare parts, or let's say mattresses or thereabout. Now, another person can be into that same product line, but in terms of the process, which one is doing is different for that. The other can actually be responsible for ensuring that it gets delivery of his products to his shops, whilst you can might not be responsible for that. So your insurance demands are different. For that first person, apart from the fire and burglary, it would actually need like a goods in transit insurance. It would also need other coverage based on its process. We have instances where once you start having a lot of employees working for you, then we know that your business is growing, you might need a fidelity guarantee policy and the rest. But basically, there is no one perfect policy for everybody that will cut across. It depends on your process, it depends on your business size, and it depends on what exactly you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Winga. So it depends on your business size, depends on what type of business you're into, and that would inform the type of insurance policy that that you will take up. And so I'm going to come to you, Ifeanyi, right now. From your experience in brokering fire and burglary insurance deals, can you provide real life scenarios of how, of course, keeping it anonymous, real life scenarios of how fire and burglary insurance has been beneficial to businesses? The reason I'm asking, because me, I know that you have a lot of experience. So, how has fire and burglary insurance, from your experience, helped other business owners like me?
Okay, thank you very much, Chidima. And yes, so there's been quite a number of experiences when it comes to clients that have experienced this claim. But for the want of time, I'll just take on maybe two or three. So the first will be a client of mine, which we had been prospecting for about 3 years. He has a very large, a chain of superstores, and there was one, that was the biggest one in Yaba, somewhere in Lagos. I think we had just concluded on the insurance. About 6 months into the policy, there was a burglary issue in his store. So they had locked up normally closed the business on Saturday, and he started getting calls on Sunday that there were issues, that people had broken into his space, and of course started with some things. Immediately he called on Monday morning and just explained the situation and all of that. He actually did suffer a great loss, but lucky for him, he had completed the insurance, so that was really even grace for him. He had completed the insurance, and we were able to compensate him. So the first thing he did was to inform me. Afterwards, he got a police report, and just on and on that way. So we're able to provide compensation to these clients, and he was very happy. Trust me. Some of those other stores that he didn't add on earlier, he then used that opportunity to just bring in all of his assets into the business, into the insurance policy. And of course, trust, he did refer some other businesses to us. So a second one I'll speak about is another client of mine that has a building also somewhere in Lagos. It's actually high rise. And on a certain Saturday morning, they woke up to likely rumbles. The fence had been crashed into by a vehicle. So that the person I was riding was probably coming from the club or something the night before, and the entire fence was down. You get. So he had a fire and special perils for that property. And if you recall, I mentioned impact damage is one of the things about under fire. So the policy had got to compensate this client, and of course he was very happy because it was the first time he was making a claim after 5 years of doing insurance. So he was very happy that he was able to get his claim promptly. He then fixed his fence, and of course we've continued doing business happily. So just in line with that, the third one, although it didn't end so well because we didn't get to conclude on insurance before the claim happened. So another incident, of course, we are all aware of the fires that happened in the Lagos markets. So this client had actually gone to importation of items, prior this time, but unfortunately there was a fire in his plaza, and everything he brought in actually went up. The only things that didn't go down were probably his work table and just a few things, but the major things that he had just imported actually were burnt by fire. So trust me, that was a great loss to him, and having to put his hands back into his account or a purse or family friend to contribute is actually a great one. So starting from ground zero was the case for him. And trust Igbo men, they obviously come at a huge cost. And he had actually said that once he gets his warehouse restocked again, the first thing he's going to do before he commences business is insurance. So I think it's actually a very important tool for business, just to ensure that in terms of your risk, you're covered from end to end. Thank you you very much, Chidima. And I hope Chidima sons will actually learn from this.
Of course, Chidima and Sons will learn from Chidima and Sons will learn from this. We don't like to take chances in my business. We don't like to take chances. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. So while you were speaking, I just remembered something that I had experienced. Not personally. I saw this story on Instagram about a very big wig vendor. Then after she had just stocked up her shop and she went home, the next morning she came back and realized that all her goods had been carted away by God knows who. This is not even to even mention the almost every month fire incident that we always hear about. If you would agree with me that there was a recent fire incident at the popular Lagos market. So sometimes I just sit back and wonder, I ask myself, how are these business owners coping? What if they don't have a fire and burglary insurance? Or what if they don't have a fire insurance in place? So does that mean that they have to start from ground zero? Ugh, I don't think that's something that anybody wants to. I don't think that that's something anybody wants and wishes for the other person. So, but that doesn't always have to be the story, because if you get a fire and burglary insurance today, you're safeguarding your business from occurrences like this. So I would advise that while you're on this call, if you don't have a fire and burglary insurance in place, it'll be wise for you to pick up one now, for to safeguard yourself from occurrences like this. Thank you so much, thank you so much. So Benga, I would come to you. How exactly? So how to what extent does insurance cover losses? If I come today and tell you that I want to insure this, and then much later I realize that I've had a fire or burglary incident, and this particular item was insured for 50,000 naira, and then I come back and realize that you come back and realize it's now 100,000 naira. How, to what extent would my insurance, company cover the loss that I have experienced?
Thank you, Chidima. So, for insurance, we are very aware of the dynamic nature of the economy in Nigeria as we speak, whereby when you go to the market today and price something for 50,000, by the time you go back tomorrow or next week, it's already 70,000. And that has been a big issue with people doing insurance. So insurance also understands this challenge, and what you are required to do is to actually ensure that you revise the value of what you are covering once you observe that there are changes in the prices. So let's give, for instance, maybe in January you insured your stock for the tune of 500,000, but as a March, you've now observed that that same stock has gone up to, let's say, 800,000 or 1 million. It's required for you to review what you're insuring, the value of what you're insuring, to the new value, so that in the case of a loss, that you can be able to go and purchase that property or that stock back from the market. It won't be nice for people whereby you insured for 500,000, and when there was a loss or something happens and you need to go back to the market and you see that you cannot even buy those products again, then it actually defeats some of the purpose of what insurance is trying to do, which is to ensure that you don't bring money out of pocket to get back to where you are. So yes, insurance understands that dynamic, and it's essential that you constantly review the value of what you're insuring in line with the current market realities, so that you wouldn't still suffer a financial loss when it happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Benga. Thank you, Benga. I have learned. So ensure that you always revalue your assets. So if you insured something that was worth 500,000 naira in May, and then you realize that so in August it's now worth 2 million. So go back, speak to your insurer to ensure that the actual value of the current value of that asset is what is captured in the insurance policy. All right. So, Benga, while you were even speaking, I heard you talk about when you want to make a claim. When Ifeanyi was also speaking, she also spoke about claim. What exactly is this claim? What exactly is this claim, Ifeanyi? How can businesses who have taken up a fire and burglar insurance process their claims?
Okay, thank you for that also. So insurance, as you rightly know, is about claims, and that is what we are actually selling. That is where you can now see the real value of what you've purchased or what you've really put in place. Now, when you have a claim, you just need to ensure that you report that claim immediately. And most times you are required to report that within the maximum of 30 days from the date of the incident. We understand that there's a challenge where people have an incident happening and they are already under a lot of stress. They are not themselves, they are psychologically down and depressed. So insurance has been able to give you a kind of 30 days window to ensure that after that period, yes, get yourselves together, get your acts together, and we're giving you at least 30 days to report that claim. Now, once you've done that, which is the actual first step to locking down the processing of your claim, then you'll be required to provide some documents to enable or substantiate those claims and process it further. Some of them include the claim form, which you'll be asked to fill. You put the narration of the incident. You put other descriptions as required on the claim form. If it is a fire incident, you will need like a fire brigade report. You will need quantum of what you've lost, the amount, the values, and other substantiating documents that will help you to be able to claim from your insurer. In the event of theft, you would actually need a police report in addition to filling the claim form and also substantiating the value of what you've actually lost. So once you have done that, we can now use those documents to engage the insurance companies on your behalf, ensure we process those claims, get you your discharge voucher, what we call a discharge voucher, which means that this is the amount the insurance company is offering you after reviewing all the documents and possibly appointing an adjuster depending on the quantum of the claim. Once that is done, you can now be rest assured that once you are okay with the discharge voucher, you sign off and that will be processed for payment. And before you know it, your account has already been credited with the amount you've actually lost. So you will be exactly back in your position where you were without actually putting your hands in your pocket. And that is just the beauty of insurance. We do not pray for bad things to happen, but in an environment we have to just be ensuring that we are proactive and ensure we put adequate measures in place for such things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benga. Thank you. So, while you were speaking, something just popped in my head that God forbid is not an insurance cover. The actual insurance cover is an insurance cover. So don't be doing God forbid and say that, oh, I'm covered. So get you a proper insurance cover for your businesses. And if I'll come to you now. I'll come to you now for the claims process that Benga has explained right now. I know that he mentioned a couple of documents. So could you please reiterate on those documents? And I'd like to ask, Benga had said that you have 30 days to report an incident. So what if I can't do this in 30 days, or I don't even realize that this thing has happened until after 30 days? I don't know how that happened, but it doesn't mean that after 30 days, that's all.
Thank you very much, Chidima. And just to take one line from what you had said, God forbid is not all insurance policy. And I like that. And just to mention that these days, our pastors are insured, our imams are insured. So it's important that take up insurance policies for ourselves. Just to reiterate firstly on some of the things I think I had mentioned, and I think he was quite comprehensive in his response. But the claims form is very important. Just to put in the details of the incidents. Incident reports is also important. Just to put like a comprehensive right around what happened that led to the claim. Another thing that is very important, I think is very important, is actually pictures. Think of these days, anything that happens, you see people bring out their phone, snapping videos. So please, it's important that when there is a claim, either fire, burglary, any claim per se, pictures is very important. Sometimes the adjusters or insurance people that's working on this were not at the scene. So it to just help for that hastening of the claim. Once you can see pictures, which of course will aid the entire process. Once anyone has a claim, immediately you can just pick up the phone and call. If you recall, in one of the scenarios that I gave, the client, the actors called. Immediately he got to the store, he just put a call across to me. That will serve as a notification. You get how to ensure that you do the initial notification before it's 30 days. And if that someone your business, you're not aware for the entire 30 days. So it's important that before 30 days, which is 4 weeks, you do that notification and also take it up from there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Apologies for the lag. Fine had said that it's always good to take pictures of the incidents. Take pictures. Don't just take selfies alone. When you experience incidences like this, take proper pictures of to the extent of the loss, so that when you're filing in your insurance claim, your insurer can be guided properly. If I had also mentioned that you also need to get for fire incidents, you also need to get a fire brigader's report to that would also give a professional insight on the extent to which the fire gutted your properties or your assets. Thank you very much, Ifeanyi. Apologies for the network lag. Thank you very much, Ifeanyi, for that response. Okay, Benga, I'll come to you now because I'm aware that a couple of people who are listening to us at the moment will probably have online businesses and all of that. Instagram vendors, Facebook vendors. I don't know if we have Snapchat vendors these days, but there are vendors on all social media platforms. So would fire and burglary insurance also cover these online businesses? If not, so what kind of insurance policies should they also take up? I mean, online businesses. Binga, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chidima. So for online businesses, you are not strictly online in terms of when you're doing the business. At one point in time or the other, the goods which you're selling will actually be in your possession. And once that is already in your possession, that means there is a potential that it can be lost when you have that in your custody. So, for instance, let's say you are someone that gets delivery from a supplier and passes it on to the final user. At that point where that goods is in your custody, it could be stolen. There could be fire damage to it. There could be damage to it whilst is being shipped down to you, or you are bringing it down to your shop before you sell it online. Definitely you are exposed to risk. So to answer your question, yes, we have online vendors, but they actually still need insurance to cover their exposures when those goods are within their possession, and in the event of anything happening, then insurance can pay such amount. Let me give an example. For instance, company A is trying to deliver maybe a big refrigerator or a TV or thereabout, and it was ordered online. Let's say that he has gotten the goods and is about to take it down to the final user, and it gets stolen or it gets damaged whilst you are taking it there. Definitely you have suffered a loss. What happens? That means you still need to fulfill your contract by delivering that TV or that refrigerator that you've been paid for. Then you have to bring money out of your pocket, which can destabilize you or destabilize your business financially. So, to state to your question again, you actually still need insurance to cover those exposures so that once those things happen, you are still financially balanced to continue to handle your business. Thank you.
Uh, all right. Thank you so much, Benga. So you've heard it. Online businesses can also take up a fire and burglary insurance. If you have your goods stored at a physical location, you would definitely need a fire and burglary insurance in case of fire or theft or something. So it's not just enough to be an online business. Be an online business with a fire and burglary insurance. I think you should write this as quotable quotes. Quotable quotes. All right. So if you operate an online business here, just do know that you can also take up a fire and burglary insurance. And then if you don't have your goods stored somewhere, and then you also maybe need to do some delivery, you would also need a burglary insurance in case of theft. Thank you so much, Benga, for that response. If you have questions, which I'm sure that you do, please drop them in the comment section. I already got a couple of questions here. We're going to take if time permits us, take your questions on the amount you need to set up an insurance policy and all of that. So just stick around while we'll provide answers to your questions. If you also want to take up an insurance, a fire and burglar insurance, or any insurance policy at the moment, you can fill the form in the chat box, and we'll get back to you shortly. So if I back to you, still on insurance for online businesses, do you have any other thing to add to what Linga has said?
Thank you, Chidima. I actually think Benga did justice to that, but just to reiterate that online businesses probably will think that I operate online, you get, and there will be no need for me to have this insurance policy in place. But like he had mentioned, there's a place where these things are warehoused, and anything can happen to them. So it's important to have that policy in place. I've had instances of dispatch riders that you send probably with edibles, and half of the things that you send are eaten up before you get to the end point. That's not covered, but just to mention that your goods in transit insurance is a very important cover. In addition, that your business should have in place, just to ensure that you mitigate against any risks that can come up when you send out your goods. So I think that's it, Chidima. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If I said that, dispatch riders always not delivering the food completely. I don't know who has experienced that. What I ordered versus what I got. I don't know who has experienced that, but I pray that that doesn't happen to you. Thank you so much, Fine. Thank you so much. Just to mention that if you want to take up an insurance policy or you want to speak to any of our professionals, our numbers are displaying on the screen right now, so you can just pick up the number, and it's also on the chat room, so you can also pick up the numbers and also give us a call, and we would be sure to respond to your questions. Now, if I'm going to still stay with you, this event was organized by Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers. How exactly do Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers come to play in getting a fire and burglary insurance, or maybe any type of insurance policy, to be very honest, for businesses? And if there are individuals here too, you could just also speak to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again, Chidima. So just to give a little bit into who we are, first of all, Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers is actually a fully fledged insurance brokerage organization. So we have been licensed by the regulators, of course, to provide insurance policies to clients. So what we do We provide risk assessments just to, first of all, assess your business. What we actually say is that not one cover fits all. So we have to actually look at your business, even if it's an individual company. We look at these risks that we're discussing and get you the best policy that will sit well with you, that's your business or the individual in question. Another thing that we pride ourselves with is actually the claims part of it. There will be no reason to take insurance if you're not going to claim or if there is no claim. You understand? So nobody prays for claim, but these things do happen. So it's important that when you have a claim, that's where you had put your insurance actually comes to the party for you. So we'll ensure that we'll handhold you for the claims and ensure you get your claims paid promptly. Once all your documents are submitted, we just ensure we help you to the endpoints. So those are primary things that we do as Stanbic IBTC Insurance Broker. And it's also important to note that this is done at no additional cost. So some people would say that no, using the services of a brokerage firm will actually increase my insurance cost. Not at all. It's on the flip side, it actually saves cost for you. We as an organization actually get to engage with different companies. Hence, we are able to get you best rates from insurance companies. Of course, at a very timely speed with the best terms and conditions. But as Chidima has mentioned earlier, we have our email address and our number scrolling on the screen. So if you want further information or if you want to take up your policy immediately, you can please reach out to us. We'll be on standby to put you through. Thank you very much.
I didn't realize I was muted. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi, for that response. So, Stanbic Capital Insurance Brokers, we would guide you step by step on how to take up any insurance policy. We will not just give you any insurance policy that that we like. It's an insurance policy that suits you, and then that's just the right cover for you. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi, for that response. We've got a couple of questions in the comments box. I'm going to be taking a couple of them now and advise that you drop more. So I'll just start with you, Benga. Someone here has asked that. Just give me a minute. I would like to know the minimum amount I can use to insure my business. I'd like to know the minimum amount I can use to insure my business. It's clear that this person is a businesswoman like me or businessman. I don't even know. But what's the minimum amount they can use to insure their business? Over to you, Genga.
Okay, thank you very much. So speaking to the minimum amount you can use to insure your business is actually dependent on the value of your properties. But I know that there is insurance as low as 10,000 naira, depending on your value of your properties. So from 10,000 naira, even if there are considerations where the premiums are lesser than that, provided that you've actually put in place some good measures. So within that range, you can actually get and buy a very good insurance policy for yourself to cover your exposure. Trust that answers your question. Thank you.
Yes, Benga. I think that was spot on. I hope that we've been able to answer your question, Mr. Daytutu. I hope that we've been able to answer your question. So, if I'll come to you with this question now. So, for small businesses, what kind of insurance should they take up? I know that. While we were even speaking, we had said that there are different types of insurance. Fire and burglary insurance can be, scaled um, in accordance to business sizes. So for small businesses, what kind of insurance can they take up? Is it just fire insurance? Are there other insurance policies that they should bother about?
Okay. So the truth is that yes, it's about the size of the business. It's also very important that we understand what the business is into. So travel agencies, of course, will require different kind of insurance to people that sell things. So first of all, what exactly do you do? what are the risks inherent in your space, in your business. We then dimension from there and advise the best policies that would suit your business. So, like the example I used earlier, for a superstore owner, certainly he will need fire, burglary, fidelity guarantee, money insurance, some other things around his business. Those things are speaking specifically to his business. But someone that actually provides consultancy services and probably works online and at home, doesn't have warehouse, doesn't have things that he sells, would certainly need something else, just speaking to liabilities and not this physical insurance policies that speak to physical assets. So basically, it's for us to understand the kind of business that you do, for us to understand the risks that are inherent in your space, so that we can advise you right. That will be the best thing that we'll provide to you from insurance, Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. You've heard it. Stanbic Capital Insurance Brokers would guide you on the type of insurance that your business needs. So I'd advise that you put a call through to Stanbic Capital Insurance Brokers on the number that is on the screen right now, and also in the comment section, so that we can have proper understanding of what your business needs are. First of all, what you're into, what your business needs are, and the type of insurance cover that you would need, because it's not one size fits all. So we'll be able to guide professionally and to also help you, safeguard your businesses, your business or businesses. Thank you very much, Ifeanyi. That was quite spot on. So Benga, I'll come to you now. We can take more questions. So if you have more questions, please pop them in the chat box, and then we'll take your questions. So Benga, someone is asking here that, what's the difference between an insurance company and an insurance brokerage firm? Which one do you advise one to approach directly for fire and special peril for a property? Now, this person has dimensioned it well for us, not fire and special peril for any type of business, but for a property. So what's the difference between an insurance brokerage firm and an insurance company? And which one do you advise to approach directly for fire and special peril for a property? Thank you, Benga.
Okay, thank you very much, Shidima. So, yes, there's a great difference between an insurance broker and an insurance company. We are insurance brokers, Stanbic IBTC Insurance Brokers. We are the intermediaries between you and the insurance companies. What we actually do is to ensure that we guide you when you are placing your insurance policies. We ensure that you buy the right product, you buy the right policies, you buy the right limit, and we also advise you at the point of claim. So we are like your advisor. We ensure that we look out for your interest. We get you the best rates. We shop around the market. All the insurance companies, we deal with them. So it's a very good option dealing with an insurance broker, because one, he has a wider coverage in terms of speaking to the whole market, compared to when someone goes directly to one insurance company without seeing the options available from other service providers. We also ensure that we guide you. We are your advocate at the point of claim. We guide you on how to process your claim and ensure that you get out your claim within the shortest period of time, to ensure that you are back on your feet after a loss. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Benga. Thank you so much, Benga. I hope that we've been able to answer your question. So there's an interesting question here for you, Benga. I'll direct it to you, Benga. So aside fire and burglary insurance, someone here is asking that, are there other insurance, that a climate related insurance policy to guard against climate related issues like flood and all of that? Do we have that kind of policy? Do those kind of policies exist as for insurance for businesses also? Because businesses don't only face fire and burglary risk incidents. How about something for climate related incidents?
Okay, thank you very much for that. So, speaking to the climate incidents, now we look at the fact that, yes, we know that climate is changing, and we know that things are not the way it used to be. Now, the question is, has the person suffered a loss? Let's say, for instance, there's a climate change and there is increase in flood damage. Now, your insurance company is ready to pay you as long as you have actually suffered that flood damage, whether it's resulting from climate change or whether the climate change is remaining the same. So, the issue is, was there a loss resulting from that climate change? Was there a physical damage or loss? So, for instance, where instances where I used Dubai as an example, where there was flood damage, and that was very unique incident that happened. What happened to all those vehicles? The insurance companies will be responsible as long as there was a actual damage to those vehicles resulting from flood. We also have issues relating to fire, where we have fire damages increasing over and over again due to change in the climate. Now, the question is, was there fire damage to your business or fire damage to your properties? If yes, have you suffered a financial loss? If yes, then your insurance company would actually be responsible to put you back in the position you were. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Benga. And I hope that we've been able to answer your questions. We'll take one last question, we'll wrap up the session. And I will direct this question to you, if fine. So, we had talked about a couple of documents that you need to present when you want to make a claim. So there is this report, there's police report, and a couple of so there's police reports, incidents reports, brigadier's reports, and all of that. Is that free? Does the insurance company also cater to the cost of acquiring the documents? If I may please take that away.
So, thank you, Chidima. But no, the insurance company won't cater to the cost of getting any documents. However, these things are actually free. So when it comes to the claim form, so we give it to you free of charge, you populate it and send it back to us free of charge. Pictures are free of charge. The incident report is free of charge. The police reports, I'm aware that the little token is being paid before you acquire that report. But all of these are minimal amounts compared to the claim that probably that we're filing again. So these things are actually not, in terms of cost, I'm sure there'll be very little admin charges that will be paid to all of these bodies. However, the key documents, which are the claims forms, the pictures, the incidents reports, all of these are free of charge to you, of course. And yes, and so once we get them, we'll commence processing your claim. Just to state that our priorities is just to ensure that your claim is settled very promptly. Thank you.
Great, great, great. Fine. Our priority is to ensure that your claims settled promptly. So all those reports, police report, brigadier's report, like Ifeanyi said, a couple of them come free of charge. While I think for the police report, just as Ifeanyi said, also there has to be, I think there's a little token that you need to pay to get that report. Thank you very much, Ifeanyi and Benga. I think right now I'll still stick with you, Ifeanyi, for any closing words while we wrap up the session. And if you are still interested, if you're interested in getting a fire and burglary insurance, there are numbers on the chat room. I'm also scrolling on the screen right now. You can also fill the form in the chat room to let us know the type of insurance policy that you want to take up. Fire and burglary insurance, as we've been talking, or maybe any other insurance policy. And our insurance brokerage team will be able to guide you step by step to understand your business size, your business needs, and advise on the type of insurance policy that you need. Thank you very much for attending. Ifeanyi, let's get your parting words and while we close the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chidima. I hope everyone enjoyed the session as much as I did. It's important to note that insurance is not frivolity. It would be a great shame that you have acquired assets and a claim occurs and you can't recoup from anywhere. These days, we know how it's not easy to come by spare funds like that. So it's important that you ensure the right insurance policy are put in place for all of your assets. All of your assets. This includes your home content, which is very important. I've seen instances where people say, "I don't own the house," but you own the content. You're living in a rented space. but the content within belongs to you. Your business, your item, your gadgets, you're walking around every day, all of this should be insured so that when there is a risk or when there's theft, damage to those things, you can actually fall back to insurance to lay a claim. We'll be on standby to help you provide the appropriate insurance for all of this. And it's also, well, I think I should just note here that we also have our mobile app alongside one of the tools or channels through which you can reach us. You can also purchase via that means. Thank you very much, Chidima. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ifeanyi. Thank you very much, Benga, for an insightful session. I trust that it's been useful and insightful, and you have gained more knowledge on fire and burglary insurance. Apologies if we couldn't take your questions, but you can just email us at insurancesolution@stanbicibtc.com, or just give us a call on the number displayed on the screen right now and also in the chat room, and we'll be able to take it further from there. And if you still want to fill a form, please go ahead and fill the form that's in the chat box as well, letting us know the type of insurance cover that you're interested in, and then we'll take it up from there and guide you step by step. It was an insightful session for me. Chidima and Sons is glad that we attended the session, and then we are super sure that after this session we'll do the right thing. Like I had said before, God forbid it's not an insurance cover. The right insurance cover is an insurance cover. So I hope that this has been useful, and then we'll go ahead and safeguard our businesses because we have put in so much, and we, God forbid, that all our effort goes down the drain because of a fire or burglary incident. It was glad being here. I'm glad that I was your host. If you haven't met me before, I said before, my name is Chidima and Sons Enterprise. So do have a great afternoon. Cheers.